Annette, how much of a surprise is this?
It is a surprise when you look at who else was on the shortlist. You know, the US President Donald Trump, the head of the special inquiry into possible collusion with Russia between the White House and Moscow, that of course being Robert Mueller, the Dreamers, the Chinese President Xi Jinping. But actually it isn't a surprise, because what we are now witnessing in the world is, or rather two revolutions, one being the digital revolution, the other being the gender revolution. And that is because we are seeing record number of women entering the workforce, record number of women now studying not only at school, at primary and high school level, but also all the way through to universities. And as a result, there is a shift, a demographic shift, which means that women are becoming more financially independent, they're becoming more outspoken. And I think the interesting thing about this particular story, it started as a result of a series of stories being broken by the New York Times and New Yorker. It went on to become a moment, and as the New York Times just said a couple of minutes ago when it published its story, it's now a movement. And that's what it is. It is people using social media to speak out about inappropriate behaviour, and that itself has really, it's spread like wildfire right across the world.
Will anything constructive come out of this?
Well, this is the interesting thing. I mean, I think we're talking about changing cultural mindsets, and clearly what is happening is we're seeing a really closer look at the way in which men and women interact with each other, be it in the workplace, be it outside of the workplace, be it socially, be it in whatever form of interaction. And I think as a result, people are now understanding that up until now there's been an imbalance, if you like, where powerful people, powerful men in particular, have been abusing their position, and as a result, no doubt, it's women who have suffered. Let's just, however, compare what we're witnessing with this issue to, say, smoking. In our lifetime, Claire, when you and I were born, smoking was part of the norm. These days, it is clearly something you just not do. So obviously companies, governments, public institutions, everybody is now being forced to rethink the issue of what is appropriate behaviour and what is not. So that's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in terms of legislation. And just as an aside, I think as a very interesting observation, the corporate world, for instance, we have seen the sacking of very high-powered presenters such as Matt Lauer from the Today Show, and other companies taking rather dramatic steps. There's one field or one area which seems to be lagging, and that's Washington. Let's not forget that Donald Trump himself stands accused of sexual harassment and abuse by a number of women. However, there is one place where it has actually had an impact, and that is in the Netflix series House of Cards. Of course, Kevin Spacey being accused of predatory behaviour by young men or other men because, you know, he is gay. However, what we're about to see possibly is his co-star, Robin Wright, becoming a female president. So that itself says a lot about the impact it's had in certain areas as opposed to others.
Thank you very much, Annette.